I am by training a teacher. I've taught kindergarten, first and second grade, so my job, I thought, was teaching kids how to read. And when I discovered that my own flesh and blood, after doing this for hundreds of other people's children, couldn't read, it was traumatic for her and for me. She was in treatment for anxiety, stomach aches every night, nail biting, cuticles to the core, to the quick, nightmares, couldn't sleep. When I talked to her about it, she said, "My teacher wants me to get a book at my level, but there is no book at my level. I can't read." This is a child, mind you, who can define dilapidated, who used the word malevolent in a grammatically correct sentence, who has a vocabulary that most adults might envy. She's not stupid, she just can't read. The teachers, the administrators, the learning specialists at her school were very unwilling to acknowledge that there was an undergirding issue. When my child's sitting under her desk in first grade and crying, I don't think she's having any sort of valid experience other than learning how to be miserable and feel terrible about herself. I have to say I've never had that experience as a teacher where I've had to fish a child out from under a piece of furniture on a daily basis. I have many teacher friends, obviously being a teacher myself, who all had students who'd gone through it and said, "This should be your first call." I was referred to Lindamood-Bell by many different people. In the 9 weeks that she was here part-time, my child went from not recognizing a single sight word to reading me a book at the second grade level. And I have witnessed or been part of many children learning how to read in my years as a teacher, but of course, when this happened, I cried like a baby. And she was, it's like somebody unlocked her cage. I mean, I cannot overstate the impact this has had on her life. It's like wearing a path in the grass. You know, if you walk over it over and over again every day, eventually the grass will grow back. But in a positive way, it has to be consistent, it has to be every day, it has to be intensive in order to wear that path in the grass, or it's just going to keep growing back. I think about children in my own classrooms who I wish could have had this. Enthusiastically doesn't begin to cover it. I would adamantly suggest that if your child has a learning difference of this sort, this is my first phone call. It was my only phone call after doing all the research, and the proof is in the pudding. My child, who couldn't recognize a sight word despite months of struggling, read me a book yesterday.